You are fighting a war that doesn't even exist. Right now, somewhere, there is a man sitting alone in his room, heart pounding, jaw clenched, replaying a conversation that hasn't even happened yet, sweating over a response that was never sent, stressing over a disaster that exists only inside his skull. That man is losing. That man is suffering. And the cruelest part, the enemy that's destroying him isn't real. Wake up. You did not get attacked. You did not lose everything. Someone left your text on read. Someone glanced at you a little too long, and within 60 seconds, your brain has already written a full screenplay, a villain, a plot twist, a funeral. You are the director, the actor, and the victim of a movie nobody else is watching, and you are sitting there, sweating through your shirt, grieving over fiction. Honestly, a text goes unanswered for 2 hours and suddenly it's, "They hate me. I said something wrong. This friendship is over. My reputation is ruined. I'll die alone." Are you serious? Do you hear yourself? You have constructed an entire catastrophe from absolutely nothing. No evidence, no facts, just your untrained, undisciplined, anxiety-addicted mind running wild like a dog with no leash. And you wonder why you're exhausted? You wonder why you can't sleep? You're not tired from life. You're tired from living inside a nightmare you personally built and decorated. Here is the cold truth they never taught you. This is not depth. This is not intelligence. This is not you being sensitive or a deep thinker. This is a symptom of an untrained mind. The Stoics, those iron-willed philosophers who ran empires, survived exile, and faced death without flinching, they identified this disease over 2,000 years ago. Epictetus said it plainly, "We are not disturbed by events, but by our opinions about events." Read that again. Your suffering is not coming from what happened. Your suffering is coming from the story you decided to tell yourself about what happened. You are not being destroyed by reality. You are being destroyed by your perception of reality. And perception, unlike reality, can be trained. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, the most powerful man on earth, commander of armies, responsible for millions of lives, and every single morning before the weight of an empire pressed down on him, he practiced one discipline above all others. He called it the discipline of perception. The ability to see things, not as frightening, not as shameful, not as catastrophic, but as they actually, objectively, coldly are. He wrote in his private journal, "Look at roasted meat, it is a dead animal. Look at expensive wine, it is fermented grape juice. Look at your purple robes of power, they are sheep's wool stained with shellfish blood." He was not being pessimistic, he was being precise. He was stripping the emotional costume off of reality, so reality could never seduce him, manipulate him, or terrify him. And now, apply that same lens to your life. You lost your job. That is the fact. 4 words, clean, neutral, objective. But what do? You don't stop there, do you? No, you grab that plain fact and you dress it up. You add the tears, the violins, the dramatic monologue. "My life is over. I'm a failure. I'll never recover. Everyone will find out. I'm finished." That is not reality. That is a horror film you wrote, produced, and starred in all before breakfast. The job loss is real. The "I'm finished" narrative, that is pure, uncut delusion. And you are choosing to drink it like water. Power, real, unshakable, untouchable power, comes from one skill: separating the raw fact from the emotional fiction you attach to it. When you can look at your life with the cold, steady eye of a surgeon, not panicking, not dramatizing, not catastrophizing, you become something most men never become. You become clear. And a clear mind is the most dangerous thing on this planet. Anxiety cannot survive in a clear mind. Fear cannot find a foothold in a mind that only deals in facts. When you see things exactly as they are, no worse, no better, no narrative, no costume, you become untouchable. Not because your problems disappear, but because you finally stop making them bigger than they are. Enough philosophy. Here is your weapon. Starting today, right now, you are going to run what I call the cold lens protocol. Every single time panic rises in your chest, every single time anxiety grabs you by the throat, every single time your brain starts spinning a tragic story, you stop. You pull out a pen. You write down exactly what happened. Exactly, like a police report. No adjectives, no emotions, no drama. Just the raw, unfiltered, objective facts. Someone ignored you in a meeting. Write, "Person X did not respond to my comment during the meeting." Full stop. That is all that happened. Not, "They disrespected me, they're plotting against me, my career is collapsing." No. One sentence, cold, surgical, factual. Write down what literally, physically, observably occurred and nothing else. No interpretation, no prophecy, no worst-case screenplay. Just the facts. And here is what will happen. The monster will shrink. The catastrophe will dissolve. Because when you shine the cold light of objectivity on your fears, you will see them for what they almost always are. Small, manageable, solvable. Not tragedies, not omens, just problems. And problems, unlike emotional storms, can be solved. You will look at that police report and realize this is not the end of the world. This is a Tuesday. This is an obstacle. This is something I can handle with a clear head and a steady hand. Master your perception and you master your entire world. Not because the world becomes easier, but because you become harder to break. Men who have trained their perception don't collapse under pressure. They don't spiral into imaginary disasters. They look at reality plainly, directly, fearlessly, and they move. No paralysis, no panic, no prison. Stop living in the nightmare you created. Open your eyes and look at reality.